How far will you go to save your dying husband? When the doctors told me Daniel had 6 months to live, I thought I'd lost my mind. ALS. I'd never even heard of it before. The way they explained it, his muscles would just stop working one by one until he couldn't breathe anymore. They gave us pamphlets about hospice care like that was supposed to help. I sold everything. Our savings, my jewelry, even pawned my grandmother's ring that I swore I'd never touch. We tried every treatment they offered. Physical therapy, experimental drugs, even flew to Boston for some clinical trial that cost us 12 grand. Nothing worked. Daniel kept getting worse. That's when I found the online forums. Other wives, other husbands, all talking about this place in Mexico. Some clinic that wasn't approved here but was supposedly getting results. The story sounded too good to be true, but I was desperate. One woman said her husband went from wheelchair-bound to walking again in 3 months. I scraped together every penny I could find, took out a loan against our house. Daniel didn't know. He was too weak to argue anyway. The flight to Mexico was a nightmare. Daniel could barely hold his head up, and I had to carry him through the airport. The clinic wasn't what I expected. It was this rundown building in a sketchy part of town. Guards with guns stood outside. Should have been my first red flag, but I was too desperate to care. Inside, this guy claiming to be a doctor wanted $50,000 cash up front. I had maybe 20. I begged him, showed him pictures of Daniel before he got sick, told him about our life together. The man just laughed, said if I couldn't pay, I should go home and let my husband die with dignity. That's when I snapped. I offered everything. My wedding ring, the title to our car, every credit card I had. Still not enough. Then he made me an offer that made my stomach turn. He'd give Daniel the first treatment if I agreed to smuggle medical supplies back across the border. Not just any supplies. Expensive stuff the cartels needed. I said yes without thinking. What choice did I have? The treatment was terrifying. They hooked Daniel up to machines I'd never seen before. Injected him with things that weren't even labeled in English. But 3 days later, something incredible happened. Daniel lifted a spoon by himself. For the first time in months, he fed himself breakfast. On the flight home, I had a backpack full of unmarked vials hidden in my carry-on. My hands shook the entire time. If they caught me, I'd go to prison and Daniel would die alone. But we made it. 2 weeks later, Daniel was sitting up on his own. My brother noticed when he came to visit. He kept asking where I'd gotten the money for treatment. I lied and said insurance covered it. But he saw the missing jewelry, the empty spaces where our nice furniture used to be. I went back to Mexico 3 more times. Each trip, the demands got worse. They wanted me to bring back more than just medical supplies. Real drugs this time. Heroin, cocaine, stuff that would ruin lives. But Daniel was getting better. He was laughing again, telling jokes, even took a few steps with his walker. My family started getting suspicious when they realized I'd forged Dad's signature to get a second mortgage. My brother confronted me, called me crazy, said I was losing myself, but he didn't understand. Every day with Daniel was worth any risk. Then Daniel found out. He overheard me on a phone call, arranging another shipment. The look on his face broke my heart. He grabbed my hand with whatever strength he had left and whispered, "If I die, I don't want it to be because you're in prison." I told him I'd stop, but I didn't. 2 weeks later, I was back in Mexico. This time they wanted me to bring back something different. Not medicine, not even regular drugs, something they called special cargo. When I asked what it was, they just smiled and said I didn't need to know. That night in the hotel, I stared at myself in the mirror. My hands were shaking, my hair was falling out from stress, and I'd lost 30 pounds. I looked like a ghost. Daniel was getting better, but I was disappearing. The next morning, I went to the clinic and told them no. They threatened me, said I'd already taken too much and couldn't back out now, but I walked away. For the first time in months, I chose my soul over Daniel's life. Daniel died 6 weeks later, peacefully, at home, holding my hand. His last words were, "Thank you for coming back to me." He wasn't talking about the treatments. He was talking about the woman he married, the one who almost got lost trying to save him. I never made that final trip to Mexico.